As the world began to thaw, those who had huddled in prayer to the 12 seeking warmth, safety, and light slowly began to spread outward. What was once a scattered gathering of survivors grew into a constellation of civilizations. One became many. Our story begins some 800 years after the Great Thawing, as the event is now remembered. In the northwestern reaches of Aldenard, nestled between jagged peaks and ancient aether currents, lies the mountain city of Stone Ridge. Though modest in size, Stone Ridge holds great importance, one of only two mercantile passes between the city-states of Halvir, Mach, and Veltragus. Veltragus, under whose banner it stands. At the heart of this trade network lies a marvel of the modern age, the Titan's Nape. It's a great aether bridge that has bound Stone Ridge to its sister city, Lodell, for centuries. Through this passage, wealth, culture, and ideas have flowed freely until now. This is where your journey begins. So, with that, Jen, I think we're going to go with you, and it's Rex, correct?
Correct.
All right. So, Rex, you left Palomir about 3.5 weeks ago. And on your path towards Stone Ridge, the last 4 days, you've noticed that the small sort of road that kind of intertwines the different sort of vestiges of Veltragus has gone into a much bigger merchant's road. And what you've noticed the last 4 days is that travelers have been beginning to emerge. And so there's sort of this unspoken caravan where everyone's kind of keeping the distance, but they're still in passing because some move faster and slower, and some have children, and some have elderly, and some have caravans. I mean, these are merchants. And you're all making your pilgrimage north towards Stone Ridge. And what you've noticed over the last couple days is that the air has gone from this warm wind on this plains that's been relatively flat to you're starting to be within a valley, and you see that there's mountains that are starting to emerge on both sides of you. And finally, on the 4th day of being on this path, you finally see it, Stone Ridge. So you see Stone Ridge, and you see this massive city that is built from the base of this mountain almost to the top with switchbacks. And as you get closer, you can see something fairly peculiar about the entrance to Stone Ridge. You start to see that there's multiple tents that are on the outside of the city. And as you get closer, you notice that these look more like refugee camps. So, do me a favor, Jen. Go ahead and describe Rex as she sort of makes her way towards the front of Stone Ridge.
Like describe
What she looks like. Who do we see?
Oh, okay. So if you were an observer looking at Rex,
Sorry,
what am I doing?
I wasn't super introspective there, but like, so what's your sign? Like, I wasn't like what's your astrological sign and all that stuff.
Well, I guess I don't. What were my expectations upon arrival to Stone Ridge? Was I going to be impressed by, a fancy big city? Maybe I am curious as to why there's such a large refugee presence on the outside of the city. That's unexpected, and it makes me think, kind of what's going on here. Where are all these people from? And am I going to be one of the people that has to be relegated to a tent on the outside of the city? Because that's certainly not what I want. But maybe just kind of slowing down and taking a look. I'm going to be obviously kind of just trying to observe what I can. And I've got, kind of, I guess, minimal equipment on me.
You've got standard level 40 gear. No, I'm just kidding. You've got standard, yes, adventuring equipment. So as you sort of make your way, so you're kind of in the middle of this like throng of people. I'd say there's about 24 of you. You're kind of in the middle of the pack as you kind of get stopped by the gate. And as you sort of look around, you see that there's kids that are actually like running around in between tents playing with each other. You see that there's some older people that are kind of huddled along the campfire. And it's all different races. So you're seeing Ellison, Lalafell, Healers, right? Every, race is there. And you start to hear, as you kind of turn your ear up, you hear some grumblings about, can't believe this is day number 4. When is the pass going to be opened? You hear some gripes, and you hear another guy by a merchant caravan say something along the lines of, um, if I don't get the pass by tomorrow, I have to go back to Beltrace, and I'm probably not going to have a job. So what you're gathering is that there's been this sort of there's a feeling of tension in the air between
Mm-hmm.
everybody because something's not happening. And do you want to like try to make your way to the front to kind of see like what's happening?
Yeah. Is there like a throng of people like crowded around the gate?
There's a
It
good
like is
amount.
there
It's not.
um
Yeah, it's not a
no,
Taylor Swift
continue.
Eras.
Continue.
It's not a Taylor Swift Eras tour, like you know what I mean. But it's like, it's a
Wow, topical.
yeah, exactly. Um, just that, yeah, we break the fourth wall there. No, but there is a large amount of people. I mean, it's not overwhelming. You can push your way through.
Okay. Um yeah, I'm here for a reason. We want to get into the city, and it seems like no one's getting into the city. So let's talk to somebody. Obviously, a billion other people have talked to the same person, but for some reason I'm special. When I talk to this person, it's going to go a little differently for me, right? So maybe let's find a person, a representative of Stone Ridge, a guard, or someone who can answer some questions.
So yeah, you kind of push your way through the front of the crowd, and you get some people that are kind of giving you dirty looks as you kind of nudge your way through there. And
And
you
suck
you
it.
you get to the front, and you see there is this QR guard, and you see that there's people around, and he's saying, listen, I'm sorry. He's like, as soon as people leave, we can let other people in. I will put your name down, and as soon as we can, we'll make this happen. Okay. And you hear people saying, that's a bunch of chocobo shit. I've been here for 4 days. What are you talking about? And so there's yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say bullshit. It's bullshit, right? Um,
It's bullshit.
exactly it. And so as you hear one yelling, you make your way to the front, and the guard sort of makes eye contact with you, and he's like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I can put your name down. Are you new here? Are you staying, trying to pass through?"
Oh, I'm staying. But is this like, some sort of exclusive society where it's like, one in, one out? Is your city at capacity? This doesn't seem like
Yes.
what's actually going on?
Um, well, if you're just traveling here, the pass north to Lodell through the Titan's Nape has been closed, and it's been a couple of days. We're hoping to get it up and running in the next day or two. That's the goal, and then we can let everybody through and everyone go on their merry way. But until then, we can take your name down, and we can let you know as soon as someone leaves. We can bring you in, but it's as you
How
see.
many days have you been telling the 1 to 2 days? It's been 4 days of 1 to 2 days.
We're on day
Tomorrow it's gonna be 1 to 2 days, and the
we're
day after that it's gonna be 1 to 2 days.
we're on day 4 of 1 to 2 days. And listen, I just work here, and obviously,
Understood. It just doesn't bode well, and it doesn't really put a lot of confidence in the rest of us standing here. Some of us would like to pass through, and some of us would like to stay in Stonebridge. Just real quick, tabletop, Coleman. Are we walking through Stone Ridge? Or are we like Stone Ridge is where we're going? This is where I want to be.
Halver is where, so everybody has the idea of getting to Halver, and I'll give you just kind of the lowdown of, I don't have a map, so you'll have to just use like theater of the mind.
That's right, Halvir.
Halver.
Okay,
Hmm.
got it, got it, got it,
And
got it. Okay, so
so Stone Ridge connects via the Titan's Nape to Lodell, which is like sister city. It's like Tacoma and Seattle, right?
perfect.
So then you have Halver, which is the city state, is just a little further north, and then Mock is actually to the west of that. So they're kind of they're like right next to each other.
Got it.
So basically, this is sort of first stop to get to Halver, because the
Sure.
only other way would
Yeah.
be to go around basically the entire continent and go because it's kind
Not
of far.
ideal.
Yeah,
Not ideal. Okay, got it. Okay,
right.
thank you for that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Um, okay. All right. What's going on with the pass? Like, why is it closed? Was there a landslide? What's going on?
No, we don't really have too much information. We just know when it's going to be opened back up. So I'm sorry, but I'm
Well,
not
that's
letting.
that's a lie. Hey man, again, nothing against you. You're just the messenger. I just wish the people above you were giving you better information, because obviously there's a lot of people out here, and some lives are getting ruined actively. Um, I don't know.
From
No, oh, I'm
from behind you, as you say that, you hear sort of a lower voice from behind you say, "She's got a point." And when you see somebody steps up behind you or to the side of you, and he's tall, probably about 6'1", has a green cloak over his head, and you can't quite see his face. And he says, "There are a lot of people trying to get in here. I'm one of them." And he says, "I'd like to have a word and see what we can do."
mm,
And what you notice is he steps about probably 5 to 10 feet to the left and ushers the guard over to him. Do me a favor, if you will, make a wisdom or a mind check. Say wisdom. I'm a recovering dungeon master. Um,
yeah, understood.
in remission. So, uh, go ahead and make a mind check here. Okay, so that's a 20. All right. So that's
It's
the one
pretty
that's
good.
yeah, that's good. So what you
First
see
try.
is as he's talking to the
Nice.
guard, you see him, he takes out and reaches into his cloak and he pulls out this amulet. And while he tries to be sort of clandestine about it, you see that in this ornate amulet is the face of a lion, and inside its center, it's holding this beautiful yellow gem. And he looks at it, and you hear the guard say, "Give me one moment." And he goes and he takes about 20 feet to the right, and he goes and confronts another guard. And he looks at it, and he looks at him, and then they point at the guy at the cloak, and he comes back in, comes back over to the gentleman, and he says, um, "Okay, come on, you're coming in." And he starts to walk forward. He looks back at you, and he says,
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
"She's with me."
Okay. No
And
protestations.
so you
Yes, I am. We're together. Absolutely. What's up?
And as you say that, you hear people just explode around you. You hear, "Are you kidding me? Absolutely not." And there's this whole throng that comes through, and it kind of starts this like mosh pit at this like gate.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of like there's all this chaos. So people start pushing through. The guards, one of the guards you feel like pulls you because he knows that you're coming. And then you see them just try to get this mob, this like crazy mob under control. And as you turn around to look for the gentleman in the clearing cloak, he's no longer there.
Oh shit.
And you are now in Stone Ridge. And with that, we are going to move to Levi. Levi, as you stand where you are, you look up at the sky and you see the sun beating down on your face, and it's hot and it's warm, and you're breathing heavy beneath your plate mail armor, and you feel this smooth stone. But what's really cool is that you can see the entire city of Reaganhold from your vantage point. And Reaganhold sits in this valley that is surrounded by mountains. And what's really unique is that you can see the entrance to Reaganhold, which has three giant columns in the shapes of spears, or spears, in front of the city entrance. And that is in honor of Heloni, the Fury, which is Reaganhold's patron deity. And you're just sort of taking in the fresh smell of the plains air when you're immediately brought back to reality with the sound of steel scraping steel and sparks flying across your vision of your shield. And you feel the weight of this blow sort of kind of push you back, and you kind of gain your balance. I need you to make an attack roll for me right out the gate.
Okay, so this is a strength roll.
So the strength roll. Yep. Or you could even
All
go
right,
into
so-
your abilities if you wanted to and use one of the really short named abilities that they give marshals in this game. It's a joke.
Okay, so I can click on the ability here and that will roll for it.
Yep. There'll be a d20.
There we go, look at that. Yep. That looks like a bad roll. That is a 7.
Ooh.
So as you sort of gather yourself, you go to swing your sword and you come wide. It's kind of clumsy, and it catches this shield and it kind of spins you around, and you hear this gruff voice say, "You're going to be a lot better than that if you plan to do anything in the Proscara. Again." And he tells you to, again. So go ahead and make another attack roll for me.
All right. I will again. It is not my day today. That is a 10.
So as you come to swing again, he blocks it, the blade downward, and kind of you do shoulder check him. So you kind of like throw your shoulder into his chest plate, and you kind of create some space there. And he smiles at you, and you see he smiles, and it's a smile you've seen before. This is Graylin. He has been your instructor at the Order since you've been here. And he has his hair sort of pwned up in sort of a tight, ponytail, and a huge beard. He's probably in his early 50s, though he's never told anyone his age. And his black hair now has more white than black, but don't you dare tell him that, okay?
Oh, goodness.
And he smiles at you as he sort of, shakes his sword. And what is your physical defense?
My physical defense is... Sorry, it's like a 2-second delay every time I click on a thing here.
You're fine.
That'll be under my...
Can I recommend the app?
Yeah, the app's pretty
I will
slick.
never download an app, Jen.
You using a Motorola Razr?
Yep.
All right, here we go. My defense is 16.
Pebble.
Okay. So as you see the blade come in, you just sort of sidestep it and like use your shield to parry it. And he's kind of smiles at you. Now he's just sort of having a do you know where you're going? And he smiles as he sort of, picks up his shield and sword and kind of takes a defensive posture. Go ahead and make another attack roll for me.
All right. I think I know where I'm going. Let's find out. There we go. That's a decent hit at 23.
Hell yeah.
That hits. So
Super
as he sort of, as you as he came with that last attack, you do a feint, and then you come down and you strike him into the thigh, and he goes down, and then as that blade hits his armor, you then spin around and you basically cut him from shoulder down to hip. And as that blade goes to cut through sort of the weak part of the plate mail on him, you feel the blade starts to vibrate, and then it just sort of pulses as he drops to one leg. All right, that's enough. That's enough. Good Lord, lad. He goes, that'd have split me down the spine had we not been using practice Aether blades. He like cracks his neck. All right, we're getting water. And he kind of like limps over towards the water skins and grabs one of the water skins and throws one to you. Pulls it out, takes a big drink. The seers looked at the stars yesterday. Though if I tell you, you better not say anything because they're supposed to tell you tonight. Got it?
Sure.
Okay.
Whatever you say.
Good. Because, until you head out the Proscara, I'm still sort of your charge. Looks like they're sending you to Halver. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid.
Okay. Well, it's probably going to take you a couple months to get there. I'd say probably 2 or 3 at most. Yeah, and then, that'll take you to get to Stone Ridge, effectively. And once you go through there, you're hitting Lodell, and then you're heading to Halver. So 2 or 3 months, I think, to make it to the order that's up there. So shouldn't be too crazy. He takes a big drink of water, and you see him. He throws his shield over his back as if it's nothing. It's almost like it's a cloak, and it kind of latches onto him. He's done it 1,000 times, and he says, it's much easier to make that trip now. You used to have to go through the mist caves. Legend says there's a dragon, breathes fire, nasty stuff, but no one's had to do that for a couple hundred years. So I think you should be all right.
No mist dragon?
What's that?
No mist dragon in the mist caves?
No mist dragon in the mist caves. Yeah, no. It's one of those bait and switches. No, I don't know why they call it the mist caves, I'm being honest with you. I've only been to Helver once, and it was a long time ago before I sort of holed up here in Reaganhold. So, no pun intended.
Why I thought somebody was setting up a Miss Dragon These Nuts joke.
Oh, Levi! My God, he's a huge fan of D's Nuts jokes.
Oh my goodness!
Opportunity missed.
Average fan.
Opportunity missed.
How did we miss that?
I was like, here it comes any minute, and I was like, all right, guess that.
Rip.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun time. So, Levi, as you kind of look up and take in all that Reaganhold is, the heat from the sun sort of pulls you back to your present moment where you are sitting in a lodge by a fire in a tavern, and that memory that you just experienced was 2 months ago, and you are sitting in the Gilded Chocobo in Stone Ridge. You've been there for about 3 days, and the pass has not been opened yet. And it's as you're pulled back from that memory where you notice something peculiar happen at the bar. Autumn, we're going to be jumping into you.
Which is, all right.
Rex is dancing on it.
Just living your best bard life as a ninja.
Yeah.
Woo! So, Woo Ninja.
The Cupid Shuffle is playing.
It's a good time up in here.
What would it be called in Eorzea? It would be called the Cupid Shuffle. It'd have to be called like the Choral Shift or something like that.
The Moogle something.
The Moogle Jewel.
Moogle Mambo.
Moogle Jewel.
I think it's got to be the Moogle Jewel. That's
so
probably
playing in Rex is
so it shall be writ.
That's canon. Moogle Jewel.
Writing that down.
The 5th Astral Era was wild, guys.
Agreed.
So, what a time to be alive.
What happens to the 5th Astral Era stays in the 5th Astral Era.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, that's wonderful. All right, so Pano, you stand atop of a plateau in the middle of this mountain range, and the gray sky has been raining coming down, and you feel this cool water hitting your face. And what you exactly, it's basically a Creed cover album.
Feel it. Feel it. Oh my fucking God.
Yes.
With arms wide open.
Yes, absolutely. This is going to take us 4 hours to get through the prologues, and I love it. I'm here for that. This is what it's about. So, as you are sitting there, as you are on the mountain, you feel the cold air, and you look down and you see the body of someone that is very familiar to you. It's a gentleman that's in robes, and he's laying there lifeless. And as you move over to reach down and touch him, you're immediately brought back to the present moment with a loud thud. And you hear this voice next to you say, "Are you joking me? 14 gil for an ale? There's no way. I was here last night and it was 8 gil an ale. This is ludicrous." And you're immediately brought back to the current place where you're at, which is a tavern. And what you see here is, to your right, is this Ellison man who is arguing with the Brogaden bartender, and she says, "Well, yeah, pass ain't open. Lodell ain't sending any of their ale, so supply and demand. I supply the ale, and I demand the amount of gill that it costs." And you see this sort of menacing twitch kind of happen in his face, and he leans in and he says, "Oh, really?" And he opens up sort of, you notice that he opens up his cloak, and you see this long dagger like the size of a Bowie knife, and he says, "Be a shame if something were to happen here at this tavern."
How big
I
is
think
this
it's
guy?
he's an elephant, so he's a little wiry, but he's tall. And he says, "I'm going to take that ale if you don't give it to me for an affordable price." And you hear this, what do you do?
I put my hand on his shoulder and I say, either pay the lady or move on. There's other customers in line.
Nice.
Go ahead and make a mind check for me, because that's going to be persuasion.
That's a 9.
He knocks your hand away and is like, looks at you and says, "This isn't any of your business. How about you sit down there, drink whatever lame ass ale you were drinking, probably light. You look like a light ale kind of guy, and mind your own
rude.
business." And he goes back and,
With summer shandy cat.
You are sorry.
Light beers are so much more difficult to make well and make consistently. Okay, throw that in his face.
I will.
Okay, great. All right.
We could actually, that could be a voice that comes out like from the side of the tavern, which is light ale.
More the word.
Truly.
So he says
what
that
they said.
he goes back and he tells her, he's like, "I'm not paying 14 gil," and he puts his hand on that hilt. You see this? What do you do?
I mean, I feel like if he's wiry and I'm the guy in my avatar, I'm not too worried about him brushing me off, right?
Straight up.
No, you're level 40.
I'm gonna put my hand like on top of where his hilt, so that if he tries to pull it out, he's gonna meet my hand, like my resistance, basically.
Yeah, do me a favor, make a strength check for me.
21.
21.
Oh,
So
hello.
he puts his hand on the hilt, and immediately your paw just kind of goes on it, and as he tries to pull it out, it doesn't go anywhere. He's just, this is like, have you ever like been embarrassed by like old man strength?
Yeah.
This is what that's like for him. So he's like trying to pull this out, and he's like, "What?" And as he tries to pull it out, you just tighten your grip ever so slightly, and you feel the bones in his hand start to crack and making this cracking sound. And he just turns his body. He's like, "Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Been here for a couple days. Been trying to get back to Halver, and I've been on edge. So I'm so sorry. I'll pay.
Just
I'll
pay the
pay.
lady and get your ale."
Okay. And he throws her 14 gil for the ale, and then he looks at you kind of like worried at this point.
I'm worried.
And he throws
worried?
her 5 more gil, and he's like, "Sorry for the trouble." He takes his ale, and he kind of shuffles away like a little kid. He just kind of like he's just been deflated, right? And he goes and hides in kind of a corner where no one can see him, because it's probably an embarrassing moment. And Levi, you sort of clock that as a paladin sitting there at the tavern. You see that whole thing sort of go down, and after seeing that exchange, is there anything that you do or notice? Or
I will come on over to this unknown Hrothgar, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep. And just say, "Well handled."
Thank you.
And you hear the Hrothgar or the Rogaden tavern maiden go, "Thank you so much." She's got like this raspy voice. "Thank you so much. This is the 3rd time someone's threatened violence today. They gotta get this pass open. People are losing their marbles. We play that here in Stone Ridge. A lot of marbles." And and as
I hear
she
I hear the
says that,
tournament just came through last week.
Yeah, I knew I liked this place. Total
she,
marble town.
she takes 2 ales and she puts one down, and she says, this one's on the house. And she looks at you, Levi. She says,
Mhm.
"Are you paying?" It's kind of like waves
Oh.
it out there towards Levi.
For the ale,
Yeah, you
I need to
thirsty?
keep my mind clean. Thank you.
All right.
Do I have like 5 coins that I can leave her as a tip?
Yeah, you got enough gil. So you guys have enough gil to do what you need to do.
I'm overhearing this conversation. I roll my eyes when the paladin is like, "No, I'm sorry. I need to keep my mind clean." I'm like, "God damn it."
So you hear that. So Rex, as you've kind of heard this kind of go on, this banter, you happen to, believe it or not, they've already been here. They both kind of came here, mid, nothing's getting opened. You happen to be able to procure a room at this, tavern as well. So you hear this, and what do you? I guess what goes through your mind, and what do you do?
Okay, aside from paladin being classic paladin, I love this.
Paladins.
I love this this Hrothgar guy. This is maintaining the peace because shit is getting out of hand. So I'm gonna go up and be like, "Yeah, bro, that was really excellent." Stacy, she's my girl. We've all been here a little bit. Stacy's the name of the bartender, just so everybody is aware.
Bryn Hilder smiles. She's like, "Oh, I'm glad you're taking a liking to Stacy. She's a little new. Sometimes she gets orders, and I tell you what, it's been difficult. The fact that we're like overstaffed and booked, and she's just jumped right in. So that's good. I'll make sure she gets that positive feedback, because we all need positive reinforcement in our lives to be able to,
we all need that validation.
5-star
Girl,
reviews.
you are killing it.
Wow, thank you. Well, I mean, I don't need it. I own the place, so I mean, I just say what goes. So it's just, and she looks at you. She's like, "I kind of like you three. And also, I appreciate you not making a mess. I saw that hand on that hilt. You could have really messed some things up." So she puts the ale. She looks at you, Levi, and says, "If you're not drinking this, you mind if it goes to your friend over here?" As she points to
Of course.
here. So she slides that down to you, Rex.
Thank you. Yeah,
She'll make
cheers,
them pay for
everybody.
it. And she's like, "I'm just charging that to your room." And
Well,
so,
that's a tomorrow problem.
she's like, "That's the spirit." And she kind of goes back, because then there's like 3 other people's like coming ordering drinks, and she, Levi, do me a favor. Tell us a little bit about who we see at the bar, just visually. Again, this isn't. It doesn't have to be like, "Well, I was born in under as a Cancer," and
Sure.
The coal miner's daughter.
Exactly. We'll build that.
The default Rogan and Paladin artwork's doing just fine as a visual reference here. I've probably ditched the armor for the evening times, assuming I have a room somewhere upstairs. But otherwise, though, you have your brawny, extremely thick Roganin with thick dark hair, wearing probably like a simple padding, under armor padding, or something similar.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. And what's your character's name?
My name is Fervent Horizon.
Fervent Horizon. Ah, that's poetic. You hear Bryn yell, "Love that name! Super, super great!" From the back there. And Pano, tell me a little bit about who we see. Who's been kind of, keeping the peace here at the Gilded Chocobo.
I introduce myself as Valor, is the name. You can kind of see I have more of a standoffish personality, and that comes from years of just, being pretty annoyed at people being intimidated by like my giant physique, where most people are either average or whatever size. And so I've tried everything that I can to kind of soften that appearance by wearing robes and Crocs and almost like a silky nightgowny kind of robe. So I'm really trying to like soften that demeanor. And
what's interesting is that Hrothgar actually have only been on this continent for about 200 or 300 years. They're not one of the founding civilizations that have developed all these city states. So it's actually, pretty normal for people to be standoffish. Not just, I mean, just the physical intimidation standpoint, but because the world was frozen for so long, you had different clusters of civilization survive, and so they, finally started migrating when they could. So that's a pretty normal thing in not just Stone Ridge, but throughout other city states through Eldenard right now.
Yes. Well, I certainly fit in with that kind
Got
of bunch.
it. So, as you guys are sitting here, just sort of, chatting it up, there's nothing of, there's nothing that happens in the night as far as it goes. And I'll tell you a little bit about the Gilded Chocobo. So the Gilded Chocobo is sort of, there's 3 taverns in Stone Ridge. The Gilded Chocobo is like the cat's meow, right? It's 3 stories. So on the first floor, you have the giant hearth fireplace that is across the room from the bar proper, and then back there's a kitchen, and this is sort of the place to be in Stone Ridge. And then all the rooms, you see people sort of shuffling in and out, and as the night goes on, as you guys are talking, it gets more empty and empty and empty, as people start to make their way either back to their residences in Stone Ridge or to their rooms on the 2nd or 3rd levels. So other than, is there anything, it's evening time, it's getting fairly late in Stone Ridge, that you guys want to do before you pack into your respective rooms? Or like, what's the conversation like for you 3?
I feel like I've been buying the company line that there'll be 2 more days until this pass opens up, so I'm just biding my time until 2 days pass, and the pass will surely open.
Surely.
Surely.
You have a lot of faith there, Mr. Horizon.
Thank you.
I don't put a lot of stock
try.
in that timeline, but at least it's a nice place with nice people. Speaking of which, like, what's going on with you 2? Why are you in town?
I'm just trying to pass through on my way to Halver, but
Same, me too. A lot of people actually coming through on their way to Halver.
you would think that if their policy is 1 in, 1 out, people that are gonna go out as soon as they get in should be just pushed right through.
You'd think something's going on. I haven't looked too deeply into it. I'm just enjoying myself at the moment. But if it goes on for too much longer, I think I'm gonna have to start fighting people.
Well, this is a fine place to exercise your patience. Good drinks, good games.
Agreed. Yeah, cheers to that.
Picking a fight might end up slowing down your progress, not speeding it.
Well, that's like it's hyperbolic. I'm not gonna fight anybody because you like my mom always said, you attract more Chigo flies with honey than with vinegar. So, yeah. So, Fervent Horizon. Is that a family name or?
No, it is not a family name. It is my name, in fact. No follow-up comment.
I'm actually laughing in real life and as a character.
And you hear from the back, Brynhilde, it goes, "Yeah, it's still a good name. I love it. Beautiful." She starts wiping stuff down as she's like still.
It is a pious name.
Yeah.
You seem like a pious man.
She comes up to the three of you and says, "Hey, we got some food in the back. You guys want some extras?"
Oh,
Always
absolutely.
down for a meal.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So she comes out with three plates, and it's kind of this mixed mash of stuff. Like there's a little bit of some meat that's questionable, and then there's some potatoes. And then she says, "Don't ask what's in the stew, but it's delicious." And then she just like brings you each out a little bowl and sets it in front of you. And the aroma from the stew is actually really, really good. It hits your nose, and it just like it's. Have you ever like been on like a damp cold day, and then you just like the smell of just like warm chicken noodle soup hits your so this might be chocobo noodle soup, so it might be
Well,
what it is. You get
It's all meat.
That's the spirit, she says. She pushes it to you guys and just says, make sure you're up here early. Breakfast, we start it. You'll probably hear people well before sunrise. But the Jaja, the magistrate's making an announcement at the North Gate tomorrow. So if you can, get
Ooh.
there for it. So other than that, she's like, I like you three. I don't know why, but I trust you. Okay? So I'm going to leave this here. I'm taking the gill. I don't trust you that much, but you're more than welcome to help yourselves. You don't look like you're going to be doing anything too crazy. Plus Stacy's still here. She's in the back. So if you need her, just call. And you hear, and you see this,
yeah.
what does Stacy look like? Rex?
Oh, I'm gonna say pigtails for sure, blonde pigtails. Very very youthful. Pure. Wearing a lot of jewelry, which is probably a bad idea, but I'm not gonna dull her shine. And maybe like a little frumpier than a traditional barmaid. She'll get it. She'll understand what earns the tips. But she's new, so she's just in the tunic and the slops at this point. But just charming, absolutely charming.
So as Brynhilde says Stacy's in the back, you see Stacy jumps out and she says, I'm still here. I don't really live here, but I'm here all the time. But if you guys need anything, let me know. And you just see that there's these bracelets that are too big for our arms. Just keep sliding down. She keeps like sliding them up. And she's like, but seriously, if you guys need anything, let me know. She's like, oh my gosh, you're adorable. And she points to you in the silk robes over at
Bracelets just
Valor.
making all sorts of racket. Just jingle, 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 jingle.
They
Exactly.
purr pleasantly.
Yeah. She waves and just like goes back to the back.
Love her. She's adorable. There's so much adorable going on in this room right now.
But
Can I use like my mighty Gothgar nose to smell if there's anything going on with the soup?
Yeah, go ahead and make a vitality check for me.
Vitality is a 6 or a 9. They don't have a little dot by them.
That is a 6.
Cool.
It's an 8.
So
You can't. You can't smell. It smells like soup. And if anyone else wants to, if anybody else wants to make a vitality check to determine quality of the soup, I'll let you.
I was told to not ask, so I will not ask.
I mean, God damn it! What's my vitality?
All right, nobody's checking. I'm gonna start like doing that thing. Like, what's that, Spike?
No, go ahead.
Oh, you know how like cats will like lap stuff up? Like I bring my head to the bowl and start like lapping.
That's wonderful. You just hear this lapping sound.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Fervent, are you going to be drinking the soup or eating the soup?
I will be eating and or drinking the soup as
Okay.
the case necessitates.
Okay. Go ahead and anyone who's eat the soup, you've already rolled Valor. Make a vitality check for me.
Okay.
Rex, are you drinking the soup as well? No, you spent yours.
I'm eating soup, so.
All right. If you both can, make a vitality check for me.
Can I click the vitality to roll?
You sure can.
Yes, I can. Nice.
Okay.
There we go. 19.
So
we're not dying.
This is the best soup you two have ever eaten. Valor, it's kind of mid to you. You're like, it's whatever. So if you want, I'll have you both go ahead and add 1 barrier HP to your character. So if you go right to the
barrier because I didn't like it as much.
It's true. Yep.
Gotta have a better outlook.
Yeah. So nothing of event happens then. You guys are more than welcome to continue eating your leftovers or retiring to your rooms. Anything else you guys want to talk about or do or smell or look over?
I think there's strength in numbers. If we all want to go up to the thing tomorrow morning first thing, and see what's up. If they make an announcement that we don't like, then maybe we can, I don't know, engage in a conversation.
I'd hate to disappoint the barmaiden's belief in this.
Correct. She thinks we're pretty cool, so
That's more
Well,
than
I think
enough
that
for
your
me.
patience is paid off finally. They're going to announce the pass is open and we can proceed without further delay.
That's the hope. Okay. Well, I'll
Right.
see you two in the morning.
So as you retire in the evening, again, nothing happens. And several hours later, you're immediately woken up to there's this queuing of chocobos. There's this queue, 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 queue. And then all of a sudden there's this loud
I thought they were getting in line.
that what?
Like a
Queuing
queue?
of chocobos. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought they
queuing.
were getting in line like queuing.
Oh no. Yeah.
That's stupid. I don't know why you would think that. That's dumb.
Yeah, because there's no queue times in Final Fantasy. But
got the
yes,
fast pass.
so you hear this queuing, and then there's this like loud, obnoxious. It's like the worst rooster sound you've ever. But it wakes you up, and immediately after that, you start to hear the sounds of feet and plates clattering down below, and you start to smell as you all sort of browsing. The smell of like bacon and eggs and breakfast and coffee. So there's this like wonderful, delicious breakfast smell that's coming from downstairs. We'll start with you, Fervent. What do you do? Fervent.
Well, I will ignore the material temptations and do my morning rituals before I head down, though it may cost me the fresh breakfast.
Okay. And describe to me like what some of those morning rituals would be for a paladin.
It's probably a whole deal with, oiling the armor and weapon and so on, but preceded by prayer to the dawn's light, most likely. An hour of silent prayer and meditation.
But awesome. So as you step out of your room, you are oiled up. Like you look good. Like there's no like it's almost like you ever met those people that always have really good hair? You know what I
My
mean?
God.
Like you don't know, but that's like you with your armor. Armor just always looks good, right? I think that's gonna so as you step out, we'll go with to you, Valor. What are you doing after you smell breakfast and hear the capo of all time waking everyone up?
Well, I'm a large Rothgar, so I lick myself clean, as a cat person might, and yeah, I head down for the feast. I get dressed after I lick myself clean.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
Thank you for
savage.
clarifying that. I love it. And Rex, what are you doing?
I leap out of bed at the smell of the stuff. I do a quick 90-second meditation because I've got shit going on. And then I am downstairs for some breakfast. And I see Fervent and Horizon. I'm like, bro, making the rest of us look like riffraff. High five. He doesn't high five me back,
I do not high five you back.
but that's okay.
You would do well to better yourself before you fill yourself.
Am I around to pick up the high five?
Yeah.
So as you hold it up, you immediately feel this like giant paw from behind, like come up from behind you, like hit you from the back.
Damn.
Let's see. Oh crap!
But you miss completely, and you kind of like miss, and you kind of like lean into
Can I smack a rock? Can I accidentally smack like Fervent in the back of the head?
Fervent, do me a favor, make a dexterity check for me, would you? That was
By
bad.
the way,
I will not try to dodge it.
I
rolled dex on my high five and rolled a crit fail. So
a crit fail. Yeah. So you go to.
I can vitality to
Fantastic.
withstand it, but I will not dignify that with a dodge.
Do a strength. Yeah, do a strength or vitality check.
10.
And so
Oof.
there is like you like catch him, like you think you've got him for a second, and then he just lets his full weight down on top of you, and then he just like falls on top of you, and then as you get
what am I
up,
drunk?
No, you tripped and fell. Like,
Yeah,
um,
that's all right. Yeah, I tripped on my
and
robe. I wasn't ready.
and as you sort of push him up off of you, you kept your Crocs on. That was the important thing. But there's
Oh yeah,
actually now
these floors are
Rothgar
gross.
hair on some of your well-oiled plate armor.
Ah, crap! I got all
Well,
this oil
see
on
you
me.
in an hour.
He goes back in. So as he
So what?
goes back,
Do we both go back to oil and meditate, and I go back to lick myself clean again, and we take this morning from the top?
Seems so.
as he goes back into his room, you probably don't say a word if I fervent.
No.
So you just like go back in and you hear the sound of buckles coming undone. The two of you just stand in the hallway looking at each other. What do you do?
Is this
Paladin
pre or
mad.
post? Or is this for Rex?
This is for Rex. This is for Rex
Okay.
and
The-
Bella.
yeah, the rest of us who are not polishing our armor for the second time in the morning.
I blame you for this.
Yeah, I'll take
You
that
know,
one.
everybody's got their deal, but we all need to practice high fives. That's the takeaway from this.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed.
and also maybe don't high five on an empty stomach. All right, multiple lessons today. Let's go get some breakfast.
So
I
So you
agree,
both make your way downstairs. As you are coming down, there's a lot of people that are here. What's different is that the energy in the tavern is more upbeat and solemn because you hear people saying, "Today's the day. I know Jar Jar is gonna open up the pass. It's gonna be great. I'm so glad we waited." And you hear there's a few naysayers. You hear, it's gonna be more the same. I just know it. No sense in getting your hopes up. And as people are started flooding in and out, you see Stacy at the bar, and she looks up at you and just waves like really emphatically at the two of you and says, "Breakfast?"
Yes,
No.
Hell yeah.
absolutely breakfast.
She pulls out and as one of her other colleagues are delivering like two places to like a Lalafell and an Ura who are like right next to each other, she immediately grabs them and brings them over down in front. And those guys just look at you like, what just happened? And she's like, sorry, special guest. And so she's like, talk to Bryn. She said, this is on the house. This is going to be great. So secretly, I really hope that the pass doesn't open so you guys stay longer. She gets really excited. She's like, but also I know you need stuff to do. So I'm going to go back to work. And you hear Bryn yell, Stacy, sorry, got to go. And she like kind of like scatters off.
I look at the team and
Oh,
I
she's
say,
sweet.
when we leave, check your bags. This seems like the kind of person who's going to tag along and surprise us in the middle of the next chapter.
Holy shit.
That's how you create forever NPCs. So
I wouldn't hate it.
that's funny. So you guys eat breakfast, and again it's bustling, and it doesn't take you as long for it to clean your armor, just because you're just getting the one spot with the fur. So as you're finishing up breakfast, you sort of make your way down to the tavern and spot them at the bar proper.
I feel like I'm going to avoid them actually this time to not have to redo my armor ritual again. Or maybe sit on the Rex side if there's room away from the fur.
So, you clock that. You clock that, Valor. so, so you sit down,
Yeah.
I get it.
and right as you sit down, the front door of the tavern opens up, and one of the locals comes up and says, "Everyone, make your way to Northgate. They're giving the announcement in 15 minutes."
God.
I mean, if they're going to make the announcement, we're going to hear about it from here. I'd like to finish this meal in this ale. It's going to be open. It's going to stay open.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you finished breakfast. That was sorry, that was after. Like he took enough time to clean his armor. You guys finished breakfast, so it's
We've got like a
moral
second
support.
plate after everyone's done.
Just picking up everyone's scraps as
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
leaving.
Yeah.
Putting tots in your pocket. So
Yeah, just guzzling leftover mimosa.
that's exactly
Chance
it.
Napoleon.
Um, so with the announcement, I mean, you guys have finished breakfast. You guys head north, or are you gonna stick around and eat people off people's plates for a while?
Oh no, I'm going. Time to
Uh,
get a move on.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest. I am anxious to get going. I don't have a lot of confidence in this announcement. I feel like there's some bullshit going on. They're not being transparent, but if they open it up, I want to be out of here. I'll miss Stacy dearly, but I need to move on.
Stacy will be here.
allegedly.
And she'll be allegedly.
I mean,
I'm
if-
gonna not check my bags just in case she's in there, so I don't discourage it.
Yeah.
optimistic about it.
So as you leave the Gilded Chocobo, you notice that there it starts, and you start to see people up. And what's unique about Stone Ridge is since it's been built into this entire sort of space, it's all switchbacks. So as you make your way to the client, like people in Stone Ridge also are very fit. Like there's very few like husky people in Stone Ridge, just because you got to walk up a mountain, to get home or get to
Yeah.
work. So their quads are outrageous. So basically,
Guys, Stone Ridge fucks.
Yeah,
it
like
does.
day.
Yeah, exactly. And so as you make your way up and back through these switchbacks, you see that the crowd starts to get like more and more, and it gets thicker. There's some people that are getting kind of left behind because they can't make it. And what happens is you finally get to the top of Stone Ridge, and if you look behind you, you can see basically everything out through the plane, like the planes from where you traveled, Rex. Like you see the weeks it took you to get across the plane and through the forest, and it's like it's all there from this view. So you're just
Damn.
basically like, when you take a peek back, you kind of have this reflection of the last 3 weeks of your journey and where it's been. And you also then, as you look forward, this area, these gates are huge. So no one's getting 25 feet tall, and they're made of these solid round like oak pillars, and then they're all kind of like
Mm.
in one, and then the doors are sort of shut. And at the front of this gate, you see that there is a podium, right? And there's a throng of people, and again, you guys are kind of this. So this whole area is probably about, I want to say, 80 by 60 feet wide. So it's a good amount. So a lot of people pushing in. Where do you guys want to be sort of situationally in this area?
Oh boy.
I don't want to be in the crowd. I'd like to be kind of hanging
No,
back if
that
something
seems
breaks out.
sketchy.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's a crush, I don't want to be in it.
Yeah.
If I can find maybe like a fence post or something to kind of perch on,
Along
that's
the
fine.
wall back of the crowd.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
Perfect. Fervent, what are you thinking?
I see no benefit to rushing. I can hear just as well from back here, so I will also not feel compelled to rush forward.
Okay. So what you notice, Rex, is about 25, 30 feet to your left, there's like a couple of crates that are sort of stacked up behind a fence. So you could try to climb your way up if you wanted to do that.
Oh, that seems cool. I like a high perch. I'm gonna do that.
Got it. So you
Yeah.
make your way there.
Like a ninja.
Yep. And then Valor, are you sort of staying, close to Levi? What are you doing?
Well, I'm a pretty tall dude, so I feel like I can see a lot over a lot of people. But the dust that this crowd is kicking up is really getting my allergies, so I'm kind of in a sneezing fit. But I'm trying to stay close to the wall.
All right, sounds good. Make a vitality check for
12.
12. No hairballs yet, so you were good. So you're fighting
Yeah.
this off. That's going to be an ongoing check for the rest of the adventure. So, so you stay back by the wall. Okay, perfect. So as you guys are kind of here, and there's this anticipation sort of builds throughout the crowd, and you you notice, and particularly the three of you, because you both come from south, is that the air not only is heavier and thicker up here, but it's also it's that sort of very late summer, early autumn type of cool in the mornings before the day sort of
Mm.
heats up. And you hear again the excitement from people saying, "This is it, the gates open, can't wait." Conversations of like that are happening from people. And what you see is on this platform that's in front of the gate, you see an Ora that is kind of pacing back and forth. And on his back is a great sword, and he has black scales that kind of his elbows up to sort of his neck, just as if he's wearing scale mail armor, just part of his his natural skin, and then horns that curl up on his head. And as he walks around and scans you can tell that there is experience behind those eyes. And so he's sort of pacing back. And after about 3 minutes of and kind of hearing, you see that you see that there's this podium, and you see this small Lalafell kind of climb back. He's dressed in very nice robes. Like his robes are very nice. He's wearing sort of it's not like kind of like a wizard's hat, but and he's got his glasses. And as he stands on top of this podium, he looks over to the Oras, and he kind of gestures something. And what he does is he reaches down and pulls up a smaller podium to stand on top of the podium that the Lalafell's on top of, because Lalafell are short people. And as he grabs his down and starts to talk, and there's like no words that are coming out, and the crowd just sort of like looks around, it becomes kind of like silent, everyone's looking. And then he looks over to his right, and there is a scholar, and you see her fumbling through the book like that. She goes, oh, she pulls out her hand and she snaps, and you hear this voice go, makes this coughing sound, and it says, that's better. And the sound is so booming that it's now ringing throughout the entire city of Stone Ridge. So, so to your point, Levi, you didn't have to leave the you didn't have to leave the tavern to hear this.
Well,
here we go. We're not retconning.
Here we are.
We're not going to X-Men through this.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Yeah, exactly. So as he stands, he kind of looks around. He looks down at his paper and he says,